So you've just hit your second shot, just short of the green, and you've got this kind of awkward distance between 30 and 80 yards. This is what we call a pitch shot. It's not a chip shot, it's not a full swing, it's a pitch shot. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how to play this shot because it is tricky. Most people find here that they struggle with distance control. They struggle to get a consistent strike. Now, look, my part of my game from this area was very average myself, and I took a lesson from the world's greatest short game coach in the summer, Pete Cowan, and he shared with me something off camera that I've actually turned into a really, really great drill that is helping golfers improve the quality of their strikes and their distance control. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what that is so that you can start to master this awkward little shot. But before I get into the video, look, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. I release videos just like this one every single week to help you improve your game. Plus, you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free downloadable practice guide in the description box below. Not bad. So if you want to learn how to pitch like that, you have to be able to be good at three things. The first thing you've got to be good at is landing the club in the correct spot every time. The second thing is you need to realize the golf swing is a circle or an arc, and at some stage in that circle there's a low point to that circle. You need to be great at controlling the depth of that low point. If it goes too low, you've got the fat. If it goes too high, you've got the thin. Location of low point, too far behind your fat, too far ahead, too powerful. The third and final thing, you've got to control the arc the club swings on, okay? That's going to give you your direction. So how do you go about doing it? Well, let's have a look at this. So the first thing you've got to recognize is this. Pitching is not chipping. I don't want you to set up in a chipping stance. I've got some great chipping videos, and people have taken those videos almost like heel up and gone chipping stance and then simply just forced it and trying to force a chipping action. It's not going to work. Worse still, you come to a shot, you've just hit two great shots from your full swing. So you're set up in full swing. I saw this with a student the other day. He's got a full swing setup, and what he's doing is he's singing quite wooden, and he's trying to slow this swing down to control the motion. That's not going to work either. What you need to be able to do is recognize that pitching, the pitching action, is a specialist action. You don't stand as close to it as you would do with chipping, and you don't stand as far away as you would do with a powerful full swing. What you cannot have here is somewhere like a hybrid, somewhere in the middle. The stance is about 2 to 3 club widths apart, okay? It's from a 30 to 80 yard shot. The toes pointing outwards, and if I wanted the ball to go high, I might have the ball more opposite my left foot. If I wanted it to mid-flight, it'd be more middle, and if I wanted to low flight, it'd be at the back, okay? But we're really talking about strike and consistency. The other thing that's really important with pitching, unlike a full swing, my arms are really, my triceps are really tucked in. They're much lower. I'm much closer to the golf ball here. Why? Because I want control. When I'm in a powerful shot, my arms will be more extended further away, so I've got room to generate power. But I don't want you to do that with pitching. The arms are just resting in here. Now that's pretty much it. The shoulders, very important. One of my faults, I sometimes get my shoulders too much this way. I level off the shoulders a little bit here. That helps me strike down. But you know what? The drill I'm about to share with you kind of often negates all of this, and it helps you to form a very, very natural setup straight away. So here's what I learned from Pete, and I want to share it with you because I think it could really, really help. So I saw Pete doing something, and he explained it like this. Let the natural force of the club drop. Let it drop. Now, I don't see amateur golfers doing this. In fact, what I'm seeing them doing is controlling the club way, way too much like this, okay? Almost like in a very stiff manner, because they're scared. I know you might be scared too. You want to strike it, I get it. But you must let the club drop under its own momentum. But how do you make sure it drops in the right spot every time? Well, the first thing I do, and I've got my students to do, is scratch a line either side of the golf ball. And just with one hand, I'm taking my lead hand, I just get them to swing backwards and forwards, just letting the weight of the club drop on the ground, okay? As they're doing it, they start to realize, oh, Danny, I'm dropping it back here. And what their bodies do is naturally start to adjust. So for instance, my tendency is to have my shoulders too much here. When I do that, I start to hit the ground behind the golf ball too much. And what happens is, as I start, without me even thinking, as I start to try to hit the ground more on the line, my shoulders naturally start to level. The club takes a much better line on the way back and through, all without me even thinking, okay? I want you to do the same. So once you get the sense of this natural force dropping, then what we've got to control, now you're landing in the correct spot, we want to control now how deep it goes. Because you might land it on spot and then do that. So how do we make sure that we're just bruising the ground? Well, the second thing, and I didn't pick this up actually in the lesson, but I picked it up actually watching the video. Watch this. I want you here. I saw Pete practicing this on the range. He was just holding the club one-handed, letting the club drop, and I noticed his body was just getting out of the way. What does this do? Well, when your lead shoulder just gets out of the way, you simply keep the radius of the circle. If this lead shoulder stays down, which I see with a lot of players desperate to strike, there's no room, the arms start to bend, you can fat it, you can thin it, you can do all kinds of stuff, right? But just letting the club drop and then the lead shoulder get out of the way, it basically extends, look, this circle. So now look, we're in complete control over the circle. So that's the two things we've done. We've landed the club now on the correct spot. We're now controlling how deep it lands, by simply just getting out of the way. We just need one final thing. We've got to remember that the golf swing is an arc. And this was, for me personally, in the session was the secret sauce. I see with myself and even my students, I was leaning back. What's happening to my shoulders here? They're going backwards. So I developed this little drill here just to help me. I just put an alignment stick under my arm and I want that alignment stick to work naturally on an arc. Get out of the way. My alignment stick painted a line that was too straight. I want it to get out of the way. So I use this as a bit of a visual, okay, dropping the club, creating the arc, threw the alignment stick down, and then simply started to work up and around, and it was as simple as that. I then created this drill, but a 5-second drill, which I'll share with you in a second, which I gave my students before every single shot. And look, time and time again, now we're getting this crisp contact. So how do you turn this into something really simple that you can take to a golf course? All you've got to do is just, do you know what? You've got to have some courage with this. But all I did was with my students is this. Once they've got an idea of, okay, I've got to see the club landing in a certain spot. I've got to imagine that little mini circle with this club. Then all I did was this, look. I got them to swing one-handed and really feel, you can see here, I'm almost picking up momentum on the way through here, and I'm just allowing it to go. Now, when I personally lean back, I can feel myself I see myself hitting the ground behind the golf, but I also see my body going this way. I feel it. So now I let the club just fall down, look, and I'm working it on the arc. And what I love about this, and I want you to kind of sense with this, is the momentum that this is just beautifully creating. There's no real control of the club, yet there is maximum control that your body is giving the golf club, okay? You can also do this with your trail land. With a trail land, it's slightly different here. You see I've got this kind of like almost like mini triangle. What I'm doing here is I'm keeping that triangle as I'm swinging, but I'm still, swinging the club under momentum. The difference is I'm not doing this. I'm not kind of flicking away. I'm not forcing the issue. I'm allowing the club to swing with momentum and follow this arc. And you can see my body, is beautifully under control. My triceps are still naturally, connected to my body, but I'm allowing natural forces to work. So you can do this before every shot. You get yourself there, 5-second exercise, let the club, I saw Pete doing this, picking it up here, literally fire down and literally, get out of the way. Simple as that. And if you feel that you're hitting the wrong place, just keep going until you hit it in the right place. Your body will naturally start to adjust. What's amazing about this as well, when you create this kind of natural force, you create backspin. The all lovely backspin that gives you that maximum control. Now, how do you control distance? Let's get into that. So the question is, they're pretty consistent, are they? How do you control distance? Well, if you have momentum, it's so much easier to control distance. You see, if you're throwing a ball to if I was throwing a ball to you, yeah, I've got rhythm in my arm. It's a lot easier to, oh, you're there, oh, someone a bit further, swing a bit longer, but there's rhythm. What I love about this, and you'll feel the same, is if I want to hit it a shorter distance, I just feel that rhythm now in a shorter swing. You see, but I'm allowing natural forces to work. So this is a shorter shot, right? I might narrow my stance just a fraction. I've got 2 club widths, so I might narrow it just more to about 1.5 clubs, but then the same principle apply. Look, I'm going to let myself, look, just drop down on that ball and just pop it up there, yeah? Now, all I'll do to go longer is simply widen my stance just a fraction more, but then just feel like I've got more momentum coming through. And because it's rhythmical, it's a lot easier to create that extra little bit of distance, look, that's going to now pop up and roll up to the flag. So that's all I want you to do is once you can feel the rhythm of this, there's no sudden hit, there's no jerkiness, there's no stiffness, not only will you be able to get consistent strike and backspin, but you'll be able to feel your distance control too. Okay, so I really hope this really helps you from this area between 30 and 80 yards. After you get to 80 yards, when you get to, if you struggle, you know, people always ask me, how far should this go? Well, at some stage you might find that this only goes a maximum of 60. Well, then you move to your power swing, okay? But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, but do me a favor, check this video out right here. I go into a bit more detail on the pitching in terms of setup. This one here is all about chipping. Remember, they are 2 different shots. So learn them both and you'll be a great next time you're out. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, there's a free download practice guide in the description box below. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.